I'd like to introduce you to Guardian by Chameleon. Guardian is a proprietary software that we created for use in our security quality assurance program. It helps us to track, report, and follow up on security officer activity at our client's location. Using Guardian begins with a login. I'll log in as Sam Spade at ChameleonAssociates.com. And here we are. This is what Sam sees when he logs on. Basically, the mission of the application is that if you don't know what's going on in the field, you can't really improve security. If you know what's wrong, then you can fix it. That's the basic premise. So let me take you on a tour. This is the menu, beginning with Add Inspection, Tracker for tracking reports, statistics, locations, contact, and officers. Let's begin with Add Inspection. You'll see that it defaults to today's date and time. You can select the location where you're doing either an inspection or a red team, and the name of the officer that you are engaging or testing. Officers training automatically appears as training history the moment you add their name here, which is useful. It's useful to know what kind of training the officer has done before you engage them. Hitting next, you have the option of conducting a red team. There's a list of MOs that you can test. Here's where you would insert your description of the red team and how it went, and if the officer passed, you hit pass and go next. If there was also or a regular inspection, this is where it would go. These are the main categories that we're looking at: equipment, uniform appearance, performance, and in our system you can either get a yellow, which means need for improvement but not a disaster, green, or red. And again, here's where the description will go. You can also add details here under each one of these. And that's all it is to create an inspection. The details appear. If you click on this green button in the lower right-hand corner, you can print the report. It comes up as a PDF. You can send it to somebody on your team, or you can edit it. If you want to see all of the reports that are already in the system, you would go to Tracker. And it defaults to open because we're interested in what's open now that needs to be addressed and fixed and then closed. But I can filter on any one of these columns, and I can also sort on them. If I'm interested in a particular officer, I can filter on them. Let's say I'm just interested in Diana. Here it's only her stuff now. If I'm interested in a particular location and I want to see what's been going on there, I can filter it on it as well, and I can also filter on an officer. And what's nice about this is you can see everything that's been going on for a given period of time. If I'm interested in just, let's say, last month, I can also do that. Just look for anything that happened in November, let's say. So that's the tracker. Locations is simply a list of all locations associated with a given client. It shows their address and little details about the post. This is good if you're maybe covering somebody else's shift as a quality assurance manager and you just want to check on the correct address of a given location. Contact is where everyone associated with the account is listed. You can open any one of them and you can see, whatever information they decide to include, a phone number, an address, an email address, etc. You can also go into your own profile and make changes to it as well. Let's say you have a new phone number or other new information, or you want to add a second email or even change your picture, you can do that here. So we've covered adding an inspection, the tracker, locations, contact. Officers section is simply a section that shows all of the officers associated with the account, lists their training, and which company that they're with, both the client's name and the security company's name. And this is obviously a fake list, but the list can be hundreds of names long, and if you just want to make sure that an officer is in the system, you simply type the 3 letters of their last name and they would appear. Last but definitely not least is statistics. Statistics is where you go to see a graphical representation of all of those regular inspections and red teams. And they appear by month, and then the detail in terms of how many inspections or red teams occurred and the percentages of fail, pass, and neutral. And we can see the same thing for red teams. And officers' grades on inspection is another kind of table that shows specifically how officers did over time on either red teams or site inspection. What kind of grades did they get? And this is also of interest because if you have an officer who's doing particularly bad and you have a lot of reds for them, then you know, we need to concentrate on that officer, maybe give them more training and a little bit more support so that they can do their job better. So that's it. That's an overview of Guardian by Chameleon. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us. Thank you.